Fuck me. Actually hit that fucking seagull. And I believe it's okay because it flew off. But fuck, that was close. I actually felt its wing on my hand. Ooh, my ass is on fire. I do actually have an interesting topic to discuss with you good people today. Recently, obviously my brother, sister and vlogger got into motor vlogging, and I was watching one of his videos and he put me onto an interesting topic. He only covered it a couple of minutes briefly, but it's very interesting to me and it got me thinking about my own sort of topic, if you will. And I'm all about stealing ideas off other people because I'm an unimaginative bastard at the best of times. So yeah, we're going to go into that in just a minute. But our bike's already up to temperature. It's too hot today. It is absolutely roasting. If I had to choose to be hot or cold, I'd be cold. Because this is fucking miserable. So basically, my brother covered the topic of fears while riding, and we all have some, whether it be, you know, the fact that you might not come home to your family one day, or, you know, I'd say that was the biggest fear for any motorcyclist, was the fear of an accident, a big one. And we all have the little ones, but it's the big ones you fear. You know, shit like that we were discussing, well, we're thinking about. And my fear while riding is falling off while standing still. I know I've become quite famous for doing it. That doesn't mean I like doing it though. It is a bit of a fear for me. You know, I always wonder if I'm on uneven ground or the ground's full of potholes. I often think to myself, oh shit, here we go, I'm going to fall off here. And obviously that makes me anxious, and then I normally do make a mistake because I'm afraid of it. That's the short people problem. And whenever you're reading about how to ride tall bikes when you're short, it's always written for a female reader. Not to be sexist, but most females are smaller than men and weaker, or not as strong, to be politically correct. So they do have issues with taller bikes, heavier bikes. But if you're a short man, there aren't many articles about it, there aren't many documents or videos written for you as such. Because I would seriously love a adventure bike. I love things like the long way round, the long way down, Ted Simon's Jupiter's Practices, and the other ones he's written. I can't remember the names of the books. Because, I mean, Ted Simon was one of the leading guys in motorcycle exploration. 4 years around the world on a motorbike, on an old Triumph. But short people, we struggle with big bikes, especially the new adventure bikes, which have like a 33-inch seat, 33-inch high seat. Because it's one thing to say that you've got a 30-inch inseam, but you lose some of that. I think you lose about half an inch per leg, simply by the fact that you're split over the seat. So it pushes your legs out, thereby lifting them. And I know they say that a skilled rider would be able to ride a tall bike because you can forward plan and you can sort of see where you're going to be able to put a foot down if you're If the road is heavily used by lorries, normally there's a little groove that you can put your wheel into so that you can put your foot on the higher ground. And curbing, you can put your foot to the curb completely legally. You know, there's all that sort of stuff, but at the same time you're thinking, well, fuck, I don't really want to. It's rare you see one of them around this way. And yeah, I'd love an adventure bike. I'm all about going on little adventures. It'd be a damn sight more comfortable than this bike. Don't get me wrong, this bike is comfortable enough, but I don't personally see myself doing like a full day's riding up to Scotland on it, or going abroad anywhere on it. That was a fucking dick move on his part. Fucking retard. Pricks like that give us a bad name. But anyway, back to topic. You know, it's difficult being short. We can't have what we want, and if we do, we have to struggle. But I'll get there. I do it every couple of months, but I am actually seriously looking at options right now for a different bike, because I commute a lot, and I get the feeling that I am just wearing this bike out, unfortunately, because this bike was never really built for being a commuter. It's more of a Saturday Sunday fun toy, which is what it was used for prior to my getting it. It was always in good condition, but since I took over ownership, her condition has deteriorated, and it continues to every time I take it out. So I'm thinking it's time to find a new thing to abuse, something that's actually built to take some abuse. How? And then we come to the issues, financially and physically. So I think what I'll be doing in the next couple of days, when I've got a day off and I know I'm not required, is I may just pop down to some bike showrooms, climb on top of some bikes, have a little feel about how they ride. May even test ride them, maybe. Wouldn't mind that, provided I feel confident enough. Because that's the thing, I had this discussion with someone the other day. I was saying, like, oh, they could always cut the seat down, and I was like, well, yeah, you could cut the seat down, but the whole point is the seat is as comfortable as it's ever going to be. Start taking lumps out of the seat, and then you're going to be more uncomfortable. And the whole reason for changing the bike is I want more comfort. To which their argument changed to, oh, you could always lower the front and rear of the bike, and I was like, but then it wouldn't ride the same. They are the height they are for the reasons they are. Yes, it would still function, and as of right now, there aren't many contenders in my opinion for the bike I was going to look at. As always, I'm still looking at old style bikes, particularly Triumph, because there's a dealer nearby, and that being the only reason. I know the garage I get work done on my bike has some in their showroom, so I might look at theirs, but then it's financial because they don't do finance at there, they just do pay up front. But I've got a lot to think about. A lot to think about. It's really a tough choice for me at the moment, because I've always wanted a Ninja. Now that I've had one, I'm ready to move on. But I've got other things in life as well. I've got to start thinking about the girlfriend and the little one and whatnot. Can I really afford to be expending money on a new bike? Yes. absolutely heartless. Yes, of course I can. Don't be silly. I would like something more comfortable, because I should imagine if I hadn't had my accident in 2012 in my car, if I hadn't had that accident which messed my back up, my shoulders and my lower back would be in a lot better condition, and I'd probably ride this bike all over the world and not complain about it. But because of my shoulders and my back, I'm just, you know, after a full day's riding I get back and my back is just torn to bits. That ride out I took my brother on for his introduction, well, my introducing Session and Vlogger video. I didn't say anything at the time, but I started that day. I got on the bike, I went maybe 20 minutes from home, and my back was in spasm. I was literally in agony for the rest of the day. But I don't like to complain. As you sit here listening to a video of me doing nothing but. So I think unfortunately it is time to start looking at alternatives, something a bit more comfortable, something I can ride a bit longer distance, and something that will deal with the whole commuting a lot better. Obviously there's cruisers. Triumph have got quite a range of different types. There's the Modern Classics Triumph do. Lewis is very much pushing the Yamaha diversion that he's got. So, you know, it's all about that sort of thing at the moment. I'm just putting a lot of thought into everything and thinking what would be best for my needs. Would I want panniers? Would I want something that can go on big adventures? Would I want something that's better commuting? So my mind's racing 100 miles a minute at the minute. No, it is. I'm literally just going over things in my head over and over again, trying to think of the best solution. But I think until I do an actual test ride and sit on different types of bike and give it more thought than I already am, I'm not going to come to any kind of crystal idea. Because the choice I'm going to be making will be, if I do go to a modern Triumph, I'm going to be losing a lot of that power that I've got now. A lot of the acceleration will go. But the comfort will improve. So will that make the ride a lot better? Because that's the big complaint people seem to have of Triumph. Everybody I've ever spoken to has a Triumph, and every review, people have always said because they're now injected instead of carbed, because that was what put Lewis off. Lewis was looking at a Thruxton. I went with him to Bill Smith's a couple of times, and every time he said, "Oh, I'm looking at a Thruxton." But when it came snap time, I turned around to him one day and I said, "Oh, you do know it's injected?" And he went, "What?" I said, "Yeah, that's not a real carb, it's a lookalike." Yeah, they took off the carb back in 2000 and whatever and started building them with injectors. And for Lewis, that was a deal breaker, because he liked old motorbikes to be old motorbikes, not impersonating. And that's what everyone I've spoken to has said, that the newer Thruxtons the Triumph, Bonneville, the Thunderbird, everything, every bike they do that is now injected doesn't respond the same. They're laggy, if you will, and that you have to get them remapped to have them be the way you want them to be. Well, I don't want to be having to go to a showroom, buying a bike and then instantly fixing them to make them how they're supposed to be. That's not the idea. Is it the XJ6 that Lewis has got? I can't remember. I don't know. Nice Suzuki. So it's really about that sort of thing, you know. I'm just there. That's what my mind is on all day and night, every day and night. What am I going to do? Oh, I think I'll call it there. I've bored you enough. And for a change, I've actually spoken most of the way through this video. There won't be much editing. In fact, I'll try and do it without doing any editing at all.